Welcome to North Georgia Toyota Talks with Ben and Daniel. We're here to bring you the latest from the world of Toyota, your community, and everything in between. Whether you're in the market for a new ride or just love all things Toyota, we got you covered with great conversations, insights, and some fun along the way. So buckle up, sit back, and relax, and enjoy the ride with Ben and Daniel on North Georgia Toyota Talks. Welcome, friends, to North Georgia Toyota Talks. I am your host, Ben Ward, and my co-host, Daniel Groce, couldn't make it with us today just due to some scheduling issues. We are still the same podcast, same hosts that do the show, just a little bit of a rebrand and a name change. So we're no longer known as Wheels and Deals Podcast, sponsored by North Georgia Toyota anymore. We are now called North Georgia Toyota Talks with Ben and Daniel. So today's episode kicks off the 2025 season of our podcast, and this is going to be a very exciting episode because I've got a returning guest on the show today, and also I want to introduce you to the Vice President of North Georgia Toyota, Ben Brooker. He's on the show. Welcome, Ben.
Nice to meet you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and also Brian West, our tech, not lube tech, just tech.
It's good to be back, Ben.
It's great to have him back on the show, too. So we want to just talk about what we're looking forward to for the 2025 season for North Georgia Toyota. Even though we have a great start of our dealership already, and it's not even a full month into the new year yet. So we want to talk about what we're looking forward to, and Brian would also like to share his heart about something, which leads to a really big event that we're going to have to kick off the spring. So, Ben, as the VP here, talk about what you do here as the VP.
Well, as the VP, I'm kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of like my experience for the last year has kind of been I'm the problem guy. Like if there's any problems but also. Really, I just kind of like to think of myself as a resource for everybody because I try to be someone that everyone can talk to if they ever need to talk to somebody. And being younger, of course, with our GM Greg and my dad are older. They're in the old breed of the car industry.
And the new generation.
Yes, exactly. And I guess I bring some things that are different and stuff. Like, of course, they have their experience and insight, and it's invaluable to, of course, the dealership and my personal growth as just being in the car industry. But I mean, really, what I do, I guess, is what I do, and I learn and I listen, and I guess I try to fix things, I guess, or at least. For lack of a better word, I guess I'm a diplomat to a certain extent. That's
right.
kind of what I am.
Yeah, I guess that's what you and I have in common. We're kind of like the diplomats of North Georgia Toyota. Yes. So, yeah, we're both in this because we're both predominantly new at what we do in North Georgia. So the two Bens are working together.
We're figuring it out.
So figuring it out together. Yeah. We're all in this together. So and I just noticed it's all three Bs: Ben, Brian, and Ben.
Yeah.
So
we should have Blake in here.
Yeah, we should have Blake. Well, Blake was on the show not too long ago,
yes, he was.
sharing his experiences being a veteran and all that. So that was actually a really good podcast. So, on the service standpoint, and as the eyes and ears of North Georgia Toyota, what do you guys are looking forward to for 2025, as a whole, for a dealership and all that good stuff?
Well, I mean, of course, 2025 just feels like an important year for some reason. I guess the number feels important, but upcoming for us, of course, we recently, like in the past few months. This is a 2024, but it carries over into 2025. We started with SmartPath, so we have like video MPIs and whatnot inside like our service bays. So if you ever get a car serviced with us, you're gonna end up with a video from the tech. Kind of, it's more personable, I think, and it's more informative. Of course, for 2025, we have big things coming up like the car show that we
mentioned. We'll talk
previously.
More about that in a little bit.
Yes, that's huge. And then, of course, we have new RAVs coming out. We have new 4Runners, which everyone's been hyped for.
Yes.
We haven't had a 4Runner, like a new one, for months now because and that's huge for people that drive Toyotas. A good chance they love a 4Runner. It's just kind of how it is.
Oh yeah.
And so we got new cars coming out, and just I think for this year, my main goal is kind of to get more in with the community. That's kind of because we have a special opportunity as a local dealership, and we have the capital, we have the people, we have the ability to actually do something for Dalton, and the town's growing, and I think that I would like to see us grow with it this year, and us, just get more involved with the community. That's kind of my goal for this year.
Yeah, and I know that was kind of a while in a meeting where I had with Greg recently. Like, we could focus on the people this particular year.
Yes.
Because keeping communities is a great thing. It's keeping our community strong, and
people is everything.
That. Yeah, that's a really good thing. And another thing we could bring up too is sponsorships.
Yes.
I don't believe I announced this on our podcast in 24. If I did, I can't really think at the moment. But 2025, North Georgia Toyota is sponsoring some races. Well, a whole season of races, actually. Not just some, a whole season of races at North Georgia Speedway. And I'm going to maybe try to get Andrew Littleton on our show in the future. But our sponsorship actually got up today, and I didn't share this with Brian or Ben as we're recording this, but North Georgia Speedway actually named a four-wheel drive class after us.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, this is
That's pretty cool.
It's
That
pretty
is really
cool.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool stuff. So they announced it earlier as we're speaking
Is
here.
that the dirt track racing?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Clay and
Murray.
Murray
Yeah.
County.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
They've been a staple for this community and
Yeah.
for many, many years. And if I know anything about living in Dalton, there's two things people love in Dalton. That's high school football and dirt track racing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, we even have a couple of employees that have raced or are racing actively.
Yeah.
So
So, and we're going to kind of make our way over to Brian West here to talk about the car show. So, as Ben mentioned, so this is like, again, folks, this is the start of the new year. There's like, we didn't even get into 2025 just yet. We're already got some great things lined up as it is. It was winter, and we're making our way to the spring very soon. And we got a great event that Brian West came to Ben and I late last summer, early fall of 24, and he came to us telling us that we should do a car show at our dealership. And we brought up the ideas again to Greg and Eddie, the three of us, and Greg and Eddie were all for it. And North Georgia Toyota, according to Ben and some people that work here, we never had a car show ever at our thing.
I don't know of any other dealership that's ever done anything like this.
Not around here.
Not around here at all.
No.
So, and Brian, you want to kind of share your heart, like what's behind the car show? Because you told the story to me and Ben numerous times. We'd love to hear it again.
It was growing up as, my dad was a mechanic when I was a kid. He was a GM mechanic for 16 years. So, the love of cars and the love of taking things apart and putting it back together, I think is how a technician's born. And I always loved as a kid learning from my dad. And then when I started in this industry, all I wanted to be was a technician. And getting the opportunity to do that for Toyota, I'm learning so much about how to really stay in touch with not only the cars that you're working on and how to stay up to date, because they're always ever changing and ever evolving. Yes. I'm also learning how to stay in touch with the customers that we're dealing with, because they're just as important as the cars that they drive. We want them to be as safe as possible and have the quality of work that we would want done on our own family's vehicles. And for the car show, I always had this dream that I believed I could put on a huge car show that didn't bring any profit whatsoever, that every bit of it was just aimed at community outreach and putting good vibes and just good energy into the community. Yeah. And, me and my wife had a sit-down conversation about some of the experiences that she had going to some of these bigger car shows with her stepdad, and, getting to see how many people would actually show up to these things. Yeah. And we're talking things like Daytona Turkey Run and all of that, the big, gigantic car shows that are worldwide known. but I always wanted to bring something like that to my hometown. And, I feel like with North Georgia Toyota and not only the customer base that we have now, but with the customer base that this will help build, it will show them that, we're not just here to take your money or to sell you cars or, we care about you and your family.
Yeah, there's some points.
So, my wife had the idea of, why not do a toy drive or a clothing drive or a food drive to go along with it? People that come in can bring food or clothes or toys, and you can donate that to the community. And, the children that may not get Christmas in the community, maybe their families are falling on hard times. I know where the economy with inflation and everything is outrageously high right now. So, maybe a family's falling on hard times and a kid still gets Christmas because of something that we did.
Yep.
And our community builds stronger, and they'll know that, hey, those people aren't just out, just to make money. They're here to take care of us, and they believe in what this community can become and is becoming. As Ben said, Dalton's growing. And I think to touch on what you said about some of the new upcoming things that we have coming to North Georgia Toyota, I believe if we don't grow with Dalton, Dalton will outgrow us.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
And, I think it's important for the community to see that we are just as passionate about them as they are about their love of Toyota and why they keep buying Toyota and why they keep coming back. So, it's just a love for my community and a passion for cars and a passion for the next generation to develop that love and to get to experience what I've experienced here at North Georgia Toyota, and that's just people helping people.
Yep.
Yeah, and we actually have a partnership with a nonprofit organization that we are going to this car show that we're doing. We are partnering with the Dalton Greater Works Community Outreach. They're known to do amazing work in
Yeah, a
Dalton.
great organization, good people.
Yeah, and we just thought. So those who are going to be on the car show, the proceeds that they're going to enter the cars in is going to go straight back to the community. And those who attend the car show, it's free to the public. But however, if you want to bring a box of cereal or some cans of food or some clothing, please bring it and give it to whoever's like myself or Ben or Brian who's going to be out there, and we'll collect that as well. It's just our way of just giving, not just to a great organization, just giving back to the community.
Yeah.
And we couldn't be more proud to partner with this organization for this year's car show. So.
And I just want to pretty much touch on what kind of Brian said. Really the point of this is to show that, because Dalton's done so much for this dealership, for each of us, for my family, for me personally. And all these people, we want to show them that, hey, we understand and we want to give that back to them. And that's why, of course, this is all going to charity. It's not about us. It's about them. It's about the people. It's about, if we don't sell one car off of this, I don't care. It's worth it.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. It's about showing people, because times have been tough. Let's be honest. Times have been tough for everybody. So and if you don't have community, if you don't have people, what do you have?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of North Georgia Toyota is built off of,
Yes.
though, is it's built off of the community.
Yes.
The ties that your family has to this community are very deeply rooted,
Yes.
and it's always been to be there for the community and to help the community as much as possible. So, the reason behind all of this really just goes hand in hand with what North Georgia Toyota and Eddie and
Yes.
Greg and yourself, what we stand for as a company as a whole.
Yes.
So, it really just emphasizes that, it's not about us. It never has been. It never will be. It's always about what we can do for people.
That's right. And even other than the car show coming up February 5th, a little month and a half before the car show, we are also going to be at Future Fest as well to help broaden the minds of these young juniors and seniors in high school trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. So like myself and Hunter, James and Daniel Addis from Body Shop we're gonna set up our booth and kind of show off of what we do with body and service, and Hunter representing our sales.
Nice.
So kind of a little mixture of we could tell these young people options that they could get themselves into
Yes.
in life. and
Yes.
there's nothing like a car industry is a very innovative industry to get involved with. And someone who's worked like myself, I've worked various jobs. My resume is about the size of the Bible, but
Yeah, same here.
yeah, but it's at the same time, it's like I'm very new to the car industry myself. I've been here for almost a full year. I'm entering my 9th month in this job, or 10th month. I know 9th month, something like that. So, but I'm still learning things every single day. And I think those
And
who
you
have been,
always will.
you always have to keep
Always
up with
will.
the times, because always something new. Whether if you are a rookie like myself, almost I'm not a veteran yet, but I still say I'm still a rookie status. But like you're a rookie like me, or veterans like Greg and Eddie, you're still learning things about cars constantly. Like
For sure.
yeah, so it's a great industry to get involved with.
100%.
So yeah, well, I'm trying to think what else we should talk about. Anything? I know Jonas isn't here. I'm pretty sure Jonas would like to.
Yeah, Jonas probably would have been
Yeah.
he definitely would have been able to add a lot, and I can say just in the building of this and building the ideas, Jonas has been a huge
Yes.
help and
Yes.
been a huge asset to have to the team that is building the car show
Yes.
up.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Shout out to Jonas.
Yes,
Hope.
no.
So
And please come if you come to the car show. He's the taller guy with a red beard, and just say thank you, because
yeah.
without him, this would have been a whole lot harder.
Yeah, a lot harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it all goes to credit to Brian West
Yes,
here. I mean,
he's the brains behind it.
Yeah.
This is his op, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really just I think Ben, growing up in the car industry, you kind of have the same thing, I'm sure you experience it a lot driving an 86.
Yeah, it gets in your blood. It does.
It's something that embeds itself in you.
Yes, it does.
Like, man, I told myself many years, like Mr. Ward here, my resume is probably about as thick as the Bible. I've done a little bit of everything, and I always told myself I will never go back to working on cars. Every time I left to working on, a technician job, I always told myself I'll never go back.
Yeah.
And I always ended right back there.
Yeah.
And before I came to North Georgia Toyota, I wasn't even anywhere near the car business.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be. And then Hammer gave me a call one day, and I couldn't turn it down. I was in a position where I didn't like the job that I was at, and from the conversations that me and him had shared over a few months' time, I kind of wanted to come and see what the place was about.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out in the express bays, and now I've worked my way up into the main shop, doing some of the bigger jobs.
Yep.
And I can definitely say, man, this company is really about building employees rather than just letting people stay idle where they're at.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, they're fine with that. But if you want to grow, they will do everything in their power to help you grow. And it's awesome to also get to see, with me pitching this idea to Ben and Greg and Eddie and everybody else involved, it's great to see that they also feel that way about the community. Mm-hmm. That it's, it's not just we're here. If you come, you come. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
We want to build a relationship with you guys and watch the community grow with us.
Yeah.
And the car community, you'll know this along with me, and Jonas probably could third this along with this. The car community in Dalton is way bigger than I think people really know.
Yeah.
The presence is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope the listeners and some of our customers are excited about showing up. And whether you're entering a car or not, just come and hang out and get to meet everybody and just get to see some cool cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
It's funny that you say that, Ryan, about how your previous jobs, you said you'd never work on cars again. Because I had a similar experience, and before I was at the dealership, as my career that I'm working here, I was in college or in high school. I was always working at restaurants, and I told myself, I was like, I'll never work retail, I'll never work customer service again, and then here I am. But I mean, I think kind of like this, we kind of both realized hey, we're actually good at this.
Yep.
I mean, it feels natural to do what we do,
Yep.
and then it's just life just works like that. I guess
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
And it's weird how when you say those things like I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was any good at it,
I didn't either.
because I had never put any effort into it.
Yeah.
And then when I came here and was like, well, let's just try to give it 110% and see what happens.
Yeah.
And unlike anything that I've any other job, it actually started progressing, and I got better and better and better. And I got to the point where they gave me the opportunity that I have now, and I'm extremely thankful for it because I'm learning so much. And it wilds me out to know that, if you asked me 3 years ago, would I ever be where I'm at now, I would have told you no, I wasn't good enough. And now, not only with the confidence in myself and the confidence that our team here has helped me build, I not only believe I can do it, I know I can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just really cool to know that not only that you've had the exact same experience, but that, it's reciprocated throughout this place.
Yeah.
That sentiment echoes
Yeah.
throughout North Georgia Toyota that, it's just a passion, for people. It's not even a passion about cars anymore at this point. It's just a passion for people.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the way I see it, Toyota makes a good product. They make good cars. The cars will mostly sell themselves as long as you get the right people, understand how important taking care of not just your associates that are here, that work here, but also our customers. That's that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
I love hearing your stories. This is just fantastic, guys. But I believe I've shared parts of my story before how I got here, and I would love to share it again. I work so many different types of jobs, and if you guys can tell by my accent, I'm not from here. I'm from Illinois, and Chicago, Illinois area, Wheaton, Warrenville, Illinois area, about 30 miles west of the city. So grew up in DuPage County, but I'm 34 years old, and I lived in 5 different states before I turned 26, so about y'all's age.
Wow.
So, but on top of that, I've seen majority of the United States. I've visited majority of the United States with family vacations or just doing local travels. And how I got where I'm at, which is like how North Georgia Toyota is passionate about the people. Like me, I worked so many different jobs since I graduated college in 2012. I graduated in media advertising and all that at Oral Roberts University, but when I got out into the real world, the economy was a little different then than it is now. Yeah. But they weren't hiring really fresh out of college students at the time when I got out. And so as much as I tried getting jobs in my field, I went to college for. I interned at Disney World. That's where I met my wife Lindsay at. So
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, like that I shared parts of my story about that a long time ago when Daniel and I did our talks about that. But when I moved down here to start like a new life, to pursue Lindsay more and all that. And then I worked various jobs. I worked at Amazon. I worked at Mattress Firm. I worked at Shaw, and even industries before all that stuff. That's the stuff I did when I lived in Georgia and Tennessee. But before that, I worked at Disney. I worked in radio, sports radio for a little bit. So like I have a mixture of retail and customer service, radio, and this, and this. So my last job, I was at Shaw working those hot, sweaty plants for 5.5 years. Yeah, and how I ended up here was just solely on my own. Like during the pandemic, when I started my YouTube channel, Mr. Nomad Ben, which I started that channel in 2000. Officially dropped my episodes of 2020 during Labor Day weekend. So how I ended up here, though, after a bit. Greg and Eddie liked my channel a lot as they saw me grow my videos. And I shared my videos all the time in the community. I go around places to review some fun places to go see, historical spots, places to eat, and all that. So all within the community. A lot of it is supporting of the small businesses of Dalton and Chattanooga, even all over the United States. If I could get out of this bubble, the Northwest Georgia bubble, in my travels, I try to shout out whatever I can, other than just going to, even if I go to a chain place. But Greg and Eddie knew I love this community too. I learned to love this place where I grew up, being down here for 10 years in Northwest Georgia. And Greg and Eddie gave me an opportunity to take my experiences as a YouTuber, a small town YouTuber, and bring my talents to North Georgia Toyota. So they took their chance on me about that.
I think it's perfect because, you have an understanding of what Brian and I were talking about people.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
And it's just great to. I know my story's not as great as y'all's, but but it's just like but I have that I have in common. It's like we have passion. The three of us in this room have a passion for the people in this community.
Yes, 100%.
And so, yeah, this is great. Yeah.
And you can look forward to seeing Ben's shiny red 86 in the car show
Yeah.
as well.
Yes,
It'll be
we'll
there.
see that.
It's got a new exhaust
GR86.
on it.
Oh yeah.
I do know, to kind of hint at some of them, we're going to have the 86s.
Of course.
I know we're having a few Supras,
Yes.
one to be exact. I know of for 100%. From what I've heard, there's going to be a lot of outside Toyota stuff too. So
Yeah.
you might get to see some other wild cars, but I
some
think another thing was
motorcycles, too.
and some motorcycles. I think we were also including sales cars too, right? Cars that were up for sale. Are we
Yeah, we're gonna
including
throw
them?
a couple in there. Yeah.
And just kind of show the people, hey, while you're here,
I mean,
you might as well look.
yeah. might
I
as well.
mean, because we're doing it we're doing it here on site here at North Georgia Toyota.
And if we're lucky, we'll have some of the new 4Runners in.
That would be
That
exciting.
yeah, I mean, I can't say for exact because I mean, Toyota doesn't give us like an exact.
Yeah.
Hey, this
Yeah.
is when it's
I think we
coming.
kind of touched on the new 4Runner when
Yes.
I was on the podcast first.
I think so.
The first time.
Yes,
yeah,
we
'cause
kind of talked
they're
about
doing
the
some
upcoming
interesting
thing,
four-wheel drive stuff
But
with those.
I've seen them in person. They look awesome. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
that's cool.
I'm excited for everybody to see them when we get them. So
Yeah, we'll definitely put one of those in the show.
yeah,
And I think
100%.
Groce said that every dealership's only allotted one.
yes, at first.
Yes.
At first, yes.
Yeah.
So.
That's
And
somebody-
it's a show model, period.
Pretty
Like
much,
you
yeah.
can't sell that one. Like you're just showing. It's basically you look at it and see if you want to order one, right?
I mean, we might be able to sell it. I don't want to, but from what I understand, we'll be able to sell it.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. I know one of the things that I read when I was doing research on it was that most of the ones that the dealerships were going to get were going to be show models because they were only allotted the one.
Yeah.
But it would make sense to be able to sell that one just to see,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get a gauge of where you're at.
It'll probably be off the lot once it gets on the
Oh,
lot.
100%.
That's- Because
I
I
mean,
remember.
it was like when the new Land Cruisers came out. We had a list of people. So.
Oh,
we had,
yeah.
Like our first 10 were already sold before they even hit the.
And I think when
hit the
you
lot.
think Toyota, everybody, you see the majority of Camry and the Corollas and
RAV, stuff like that.
but nothing has built Toyota better than the Tacomas and the 4Runners. Like that is two of what I would believe to be Toyota's most popular brands
especially in like the South, especially in the like
in the
nowadays,
market that we're in.
yes,
Yes, it's
100%.
Toyota or it's Tacomas, 4Runners,
Yes.
your occasional Tundra.
Yes.
And then especially in the car community, I don't know if you've ever seen Out on the Drive, but we've got some people that do some pretty exciting things with a Camry.
Oh yeah,
Like when they buy the TRD Pro or is it just the TRD
yeah. There's
Camrys?
There's the TRDs. There's of course the XSCs. I had a guy in a TRD Camry try to race me actually, and he went by me going at least 120. So I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
Yeah, you can. They can fly, and especially those hybrid engines. I mean, they're good cars.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a Camry.
yeah. The hybrid stuff, man, I'm still learning most of it, but
Yeah.
it is wild to know that some of your hybrid stuff can put out so much more power
The
than
torque is what's really
it's
impressive.
insane
Yeah.
because that's where it's all at. I mean, it doesn't matter because the power distribution's there. Like you can have as much torque in those things as you want. The power distribution's there. It's gonna get to the ground and it's gonna go. And those Camrys, man,
Yeah.
and the 86s. The
Yeah.
86s are wild too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually, when on my way back from Gilmer County, I had a meeting out there one time, and I was on my way back, leaving the little town after a little lunch I had out there on the road, and I saw a TRD 2022 Avalon.
wow.
Yeah, it was
You don't see those a lot.
You don't
Yeah,
see those a
no.
lot, but sadly, this poor car had a huge dent on the back of it.
Oh.
I kid you not. The only time we could impersonate a police officer, I wish I had a little siren on my North Georgia Toyota car and pull that guy over and say, "Hey, we could work on that
Yeah,
dent
take
for
him to the
you
body
to
shop, yeah.
get to our collision
Yeah.
care center
Yeah.
and talk to Daniel Addis." I really wanted to get that guy to just get into the car, but
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was funny to share an experience I had recently like that. It was just yesterday. We had a customer come in, and I saw the name on the ticket, and it's not a very common name.
Yeah.
And I kind of recognized it, And I was talking to the advisor, and we were having not really communication issues, but I needed to understand something from the customer that the advisor wasn't really able to get across to me versus what he was saying.
Yeah.
So I talked to him on the phone, and it turned out I personally knew the guy. And when he come back, he was asking me about some of the services that she had recommended that he had turned down. And
Yeah.
and this is what's crazy about when you're personable with the community, this is how things go.
Yeah.
He looked at me and was like, "Hey man, these extra things are they a good thing, or are they just something that
They're just trying to
are you just trying to upsell me?" And I was like, "Oh no, man. I recommend doing those because those are going to make the vehicle outlast you, me, him, everybody." Because it was his son's truck that I worked on, and he said, "You know what? Now that I think about it, you're probably right. Next time we come in and he gets his oil change, we'll just have those done, and I'll make sure to ask for you." And I was like, "That's absolutely fine."
Yeah.
And it's moments like that I actually talked to him later that night too. He gave me a message and he said, "Hey, my son said that the truck drives great. We don't know what all you did or what you did to kind of mess with what you were messing with and fixed it, but hey, man, we really appreciate it." And it's stuff like that, man, that when the community does reach out to us, and especially like in that situation where somebody, to hear that the work that you do, it means something
Yeah,
to,
it makes a
these, to people. It means it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
Because I treat every customer's vehicle as if my wife or my mom or my grandmother is going to get into that vehicle, and I'm going to give it 110% because I wouldn't want any of them driving something that I didn't trust. If I don't trust a vehicle, I'm not going to give it back to you.
Yeah.
I want it fixed the right way the first time, which is a Toyota motto. I want to give it back to the customer in better condition than they gave it to me in.
Yeah.
And that all ties back into the love of cars, man.
Yeah.
It's a love for the community, and it's a love for cars, and it's just a love for people.
Yeah.
And without a love for people, you can't be successful in this business if you don't love the community and love the people in it. Because without that passion, without that attentiveness, it's kind of hard to stay motivated in this industry, because this is a cutthroat industry, man. It can begin or it can end as quickly as it began.
Yes.
That's right.
So, it's just one of those things that I'm really excited for what we have and everybody that is really pitched in.
Yeah.
For you, for Ben, for Jonas, just making my dream come true, because it's always been the dream to be able to make a difference in my community.
Mm-hmm.
Not for the recognition. I don't care if people know that it was my idea. I don't care if people know why we do it. I just want people to know that we care.
Yeah.
That we care about each and every one of the people that walk up on this drive and that come in here to buy cars and that come in here to bring their vehicle back for service. That we want to know your name.
Yeah.
We want to know your face.
Yeah.
And we want to see you every time you need anything, and even when you don't need anything. Even when you just want to stop in and give a handshake or a thank you.
Or grab some popcorn.
Grab some
or
popcorn
grab
from
coffee.
up front.
Exactly.
We want to be the dealership that is a home for people. When you come here, it's not just, I got to go to the dealership today. I got to get my car worked on. It's, I'm going to the dealership today. At least I know I won't be absolutely miserable just sitting in a waiting room waiting for my car to be worked on.
Yeah.
You got people that'll come talk to you. Ben will come out there and talk to customers sometimes. I've seen him do that a few times. Ben Ward will come out there and chit chat with people and talk their ear off, and it's a fun time, man. And I love this industry, and I love this company more than I think I've ever wanted to put into anything in my life, is because, Toyota has done so much for me that I want to be able to give back to Toyota and the community that Toyota has created.
Yeah.
Because that's what means the most to me, is wherever I can give back to my community, that community will grow stronger in those areas and will only do nothing but help build what Dalton is becoming.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'm just super excited for the future of Toyota and the future of Dalton and everything that we've got planned for this. And once again, I just want to thank you guys for making the dream come true.
You got it, Brian, of course.
And it's kind of, again, to touch up on kind of what Brian mentioned about coming in and feeling like it's a home. It's you can walk in. anyone listening to this, and you guys probably even experience this,
Yeah.
you can walk into a dealership, and sometimes you can feel in the air that it just does not feel. It is not a good vibe. Something feels off. You're just immediately on your guard. And that's most dealerships, and that's the experience that most Americans have with car dealerships. So,
Or jobs in general.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yep.
And that's why it's so important that we do show we care, because, I mean, I want people to walk in and, like you said, feel home, feel a good vibe, for lack of a better word, when you walk into the dealership. And that comes from, treating people the right way. I mean, I want everyone at this dealership to be able to go to sleep tonight and not feel like they, screwed someone over, I guess.
Yeah.
And because that's not the way you have to do business. There's people in this industry that think that's like it's all about gross profit, getting the most out of people, just getting people in and out. But what I've realized is if you take care of people, the money will come. I mean, it's businesses. For instance, I would recommend some of you guys listen to like the Savannah Banana. Listen to the CEO talk about his whole mission statement and his whole dynamic in their organization is, and that's kind of what I'm trying to kind of mirror and copy to a certain extent in this, is that because if you take care of the customers, you take care of the people that work for you, everything's going to be all right. You'll be able to put food on the table. You'll be able to get that extra boat if you want it. You'll be able to go on a hunting trip when you need to. Everything works out. If you do it the right way, it'll work out. That's
right.
what I believe, truly.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, gentlemen, this has been an amazing podcast. A great way to kick off 2025. We cannot wait to do this car show for you guys. The car show, we're aiming for the date of March 29th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We already we got, according to Jonas Hope, who has helped us coordinate this car show, the Pharaoh's Car Club is going to be coming as well. We got spots reserved for them. And Brian, you got some people working
yeah, we
out,
have I've got a few people lined up. I'm
deal.
still working on getting a little more built up there.
Okay.
We'll have food, too.
Yeah, we're going to have some food. I'm working on getting a Mexican restaurant to come grill some fresh food.
Tacos.
So I'm working something out. If not, we'll definitely have some really delicious food vendor to come. But
Absolutely.
but other than that, we got food coming. We got amazing cars and some bikes coming. So we already got 4 bikes already lined up. And even sales manager Ray, who was on the show during football season, yeah, he's actually going to show off his I believe his Indian motorcycle.
Yes.
Yes.
Just about to wax it, too.
Yeah, so
wow.
he loves that thing. So he's gonna show that car, his bike, off to everybody. So it's gonna be a really good time. And also, we got a band coming as well. So
Oh, wow.
Nice.
this is gonna get kicked off
It's
to
going
a
to be the event of the year.
great, yeah. And it's not even it's gonna be the first start of the year too. So it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be at our dealership at North Georgia Toyota, March 29th from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So please come out and check out some cool cars, eat some food. That'll be available for purchase, and check out the Toyotas that we have on our lot. And we just love to have you guys come here anytime, rain or shine. Well, we are here always for you, for the community. But if it does rain during the event, I will keep the community informed.
Yeah,
if
we'll
we have
watch
to
the weather.
reschedule.
Yeah, we'll watch the weather.
But we're here, rain or shine, no matter what, for you,
Yes.
to fix your car, or to sell one. So, well, folks, we are going to conclude today's inaugural episode of North Georgia Toyota Talks with Ben and Daniel. Daniel couldn't make it today due to scheduling issues. Ben, Brian, anything you want to close up today's podcast?
Just thank you for having me on, and I think it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, Brian?
Thanks for having me back.
Of course.
And, let's see what 2025 brings us, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
right. And you guys are always welcome back on the show anytime
very
you guys
much.
want to be on it. And that, my friends, concludes the episode. And we'll see you guys in the next one. You can always follow North Georgia Toyota on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to know what the fun things happening at the dealership, or Test Drive Tuesdays, or podcasts like these, and just little tidbits about Toyota itself, or just fun things going on in the Dalton community. We are here to show things off on those platforms and follow us that way. We'll see you guys in the next one. Over and out.